Hello and welcome. Today, we're talking about a really powerful way to navigate our own minds. It's all about finding your rudder, so to speak, and tapping into something called inner intelligence.
You know that feeling, right? 1 minute, everything's fine, and the next, you're just swept away. A wave of anger or sadness or just a nonstop stream of thoughts hits you, and suddenly, you're not in control anymore. You're just along for the ride. But what if I told you there's a way to learn how to steer?
So let's stick with this metaphor for a minute. Picture your life as a boat. For a lot of us, a lot of the time, it really does feel like we're just drifting. And that's because there are these powerful, invisible currents just below the surface that are actually calling the shots.
Yeah, these unseen currents are kind of like the winds and the tides, pushing our little boat around. It could be our own thought patterns, our ego, or what are sometimes called defilements, things like greed or anger. In Buddhist philosophy, there's a word for all of this, dharmatatas. They're basically the hidden forces that carry us from the past into the future, usually without us even realizing it's happening.
Okay, so if we're a boat getting tossed around by all these currents, what's the one thing we desperately need? A rudder. And that rudder, well, it has a name, inner intelligence.
Now, this isn't about your IQ or how many books you've read. This inner intelligence, or buddhi, is a really profound wisdom that's kind of lying dormant underneath all that mental chatter. Waking it up is the absolute key to going from being just a passenger in your own life to actually becoming the captain of your ship.
And think of it this way, it's not something you have to go out and build or create. It's a treasure, a gem that's already inside you. It's just waiting to be uncovered. And once it's awake, this intelligence actually starts to take care of you, guiding you where you truly need to go.
So the big question is, how do we get to this gem? We know we have the rudder, but how do we actually learn to use it? Well, the answer comes down to one single, incredibly powerful tool: awareness.
Now listen up, because this is a really, really important distinction. In a lot of spiritual circles, awareness is talked about like it's the final destination. But in this context, it's actually the essential tool. It's the method we use to wake up that deeper wisdom. It's so easy to get stuck just practicing awareness and completely forget what it's for.
Okay, and this is exactly where things can get a little fuzzy for people. What does it actually mean to be aware? Because I guarantee you, it's probably not what you think it is.
All right, let's break this down.
First off, true awareness is not the same as your normal consciousness. That's your brain's autopilot, the thing that keeps you from walking into walls. It works with memory, looking back at what just happened. And it's also not focused attention, like when you concentrate really hard on your breath during meditation. That's more like a narrow flashlight beam. True awareness, that's like flipping a switch on a light bulb in a dark room. It just illuminates everything at once, right here in the present, without zeroing in on any one thing.
So how do we practice this? Well, first, just find a relaxed, neutral state. No pressure. Just chill. Second, simply observe what's going on inside you, almost like you're a security guard watching a CCTV monitor of your own mind. Thoughts come, emotions go, you just watch. And third, and this is the trickiest part, don't analyze what you see. The second you start analyzing, your mind is just trying to take back control. Any little insights that pop up in this state are pure. They don't need to be picked apart.
So many of us jump in and immediately try to stop or control our thoughts. But that's not the goal here, not at the beginning. The goal is simply to see them clearly. We have tons of knowledge about our thoughts and emotions, but how often do we actually observe them directly for ourselves? This whole practice is about that first-hand observation.
Okay, so now that we have our tool, let's go back to our river metaphor. How does this awareness thing actually help us when we're caught in a powerful current of thought?
This is that feeling of being hijacked. Maybe you start replaying an argument in your head, and you get angrier and angrier each time you do. Or one little critical comment someone made just loops over and over, pulling you down. A thought pops up, your ego latches onto it, and boom! Suddenly you're miles downstream, lost in anxiety or despair. By the time you even notice what's happening, you're already lost in it.
So what do you do when you find yourself in the middle of that raging river of thoughts? Do you try to fight it? Do you just give up and let it take you wherever it wants?
Here's the brilliant strategy. You don't try to swim upstream. That's a losing battle that'll just exhaust you. Instead, you use your energy to swim to the side, to the riverbank, and just get out of the main flow. From that new perspective, on solid ground, you can just watch the current rush by without being swept away by it. You can finally see the river for what it is.
So what happens when you start doing this consistently? When you actually learn how to stand on that riverbank? Well, this is where the real magic,
the real transformation begins. Remember that light bulb metaphor? Here it is again. See, the ego, it thrives in the dark. It needs to operate unseen in the shadows so it can latch onto a thought or an emotion and hijack you. But when the light of awareness is on, the ego can't do its job. It just can't survive in that light.
And that's the ultimate payoff. When those turbulent currents of thought and ego lose their power to just sweep you away, what's left behind? It's a profound inner peace. Your boat isn't adrift anymore. You are calm, you are present, and you are finally at the helm.
So the final question really is for you. We've talked about this incredibly valuable gem, this inner intelligence that exists inside you. We know the tool to uncover it is awareness. The only real question left is, how are you going to choose to let it shine?